I had a car accident on my birthday. When I was sent to the hospital, I unexpectedly ran into my boyfriend, who claimed to be on a business trip. He was carefully accompanying another girl, helping her get in Roman 4 drip. At the corner, we bumped into each other. He stared at me blankly. He seemed a bit at a loss. I spoke first. I calmly greeted him. Then I turned and walked away, one carrying the weight of a past love, the other knowingly at fault. They really are a perfect match. After he broke up with me, that man has been living a miserable life. Even the child of the woman he longs for is not his. The day before my birthday, Lucas messaged me saying he has a business trip tomorrow. He can't be there to celebrate my birthday, although I felt a bit disappointed. I wasn't surprised by his behavior. I have been with him for 7 years. In fact, we don't celebrate our birthdays together every year. He has only celebrated my birthday 3 times. The first time was when he just started pursuing me. The second time was during our passionate phase. The last time was after we had a fight and made up. Once our relationship stabilized, he became less concerned about these formalities. During holidays, he would always give gifts, but he just didn't have time to accompany me. During the new year, we both went back to our own homes. I mentioned wanting to take him to meet my parents, but he always found excuses to avoid it. He has never said he wanted to take me home to meet his family either. As time went on, I gradually adapted to this mundane life without much surprise, no longer worrying about how to spend the holidays. This year's birthday, I initially didn't expect him to accompany me, so I accepted my friend's invitation. They said they would celebrate a happy birthday with me. However, just a few days ago, Lucas suddenly told me this year he wants to celebrate my birthday. He even said the restaurant is already booked. When I posted this in the group to tell my sisters, I felt a bit guilty inside. They had prepared for my birthday for a long time. They even set aside time specifically for it, but they all understood very well. Some even excitedly guessed, "Is Lucas going to propose to you?" Everyone chimed in, because they felt our relationship has always been good. It's just that we are usually very busy. I immediately denied this idea, because I know if Lucas were to propose, he definitely wouldn't choose my birthday. He mentioned it before. Arranging a proposal or wedding on a special day is just to avoid giving one extra gift on the anniversary, to save some trouble. More importantly, Lucas and I have been in a Cold War for a while. Ever since his old acquaintance, Sophia, returned to the country, we haven't had a proper conversation. Every time we start to talk, it always ends up in an argument. I can't even remember when our last warm date was. Recently, he has been spending less and less time with me. I feel like breaking up might just be a matter of days. My phone keeps receiving new messages. It's Lucas telling me he can't be with me for my birthday. He transferred 10,000 yuan to me so I can have fun with my friends. But after they heard that Lucas would be spending my birthday with me, they have already planned their time for tomorrow in advance. I tell myself, having a birthday alone isn't a big deal. It has often been like this over the years. I accepted Lucas's transfer. He hasn't given me a gift in a long time. Every holiday or his birthday, I always carefully choose a gift. When the appropriate time comes, he will return the favor with a transfer of a similar amount. The next day, it's my turn to celebrate my birthday. I woke up early after finishing my usual tasks. I sat by the window, feeling a bit bored. Today is my birthday, but it feels just like any other day. I checked the location of the restaurant Lucas had reserved. I'm planning to treat myself well tonight. And by the way, I'll buy a cake that I've really been wanting to eat lately. I'm driving out. I didn't expect to get into an accident halfway. A large truck suddenly changed lanes behind me. It squeezed into my car. The passenger side was severely deformed. I hit my forehead on the car. My leg was also injured. There was blood everywhere. When the ambulance took me to the hospital, my clothes were a mess. I was covered in blood. I looked particularly disheveled. I lay on the hospital bed, unable to move. The nurse pushed me into the emergency room. I ran into my boyfriend at the corner. He had been on a business trip since yesterday. He was holding some medication. Sitting in the corner, chatting with the person next to him, I blinked. I wiped the blood off my face. Only then did I see that the person was my boyfriend. The woman leaning against him, receiving in Roman 4, was his first love, Sophia. Maybe it's because I'm covered in blood. Lucas seems to not recognize me. When I was being pushed past them, only then did he seem to recognize me. That's when I saw his panicked expression. He immediately stood up and tried to walk towards me, but Sophia gently pulled his hand. Lucas then stopped. Instead, he nervously went to take care of her, Maybe it was because the injuries on my forehead and legs hurt too much. I felt particularly calm inside. When I was pushed to the entrance of the emergency room, Lucas finally caught up. He looked at me, covered in blood. He wanted to say something but couldn't get it out. In the end, he just asked one question. "What happened to you? Just a little accident. It's nothing serious." I casually replied. It was at this moment that I felt my throat was extremely dry. Lucas rummaged through his backpack. He took out a thermos and wanted to pour me some water. Suddenly realizing this was prepared for Sophia, he awkwardly put the cup down. "Look at me and speak. I'll go buy you some water." He is in a hurry to leave. I stopped him. "No need. Weren't you supposed to accompany Sophia on the business trip? Hurry and take care of her." Lucas has his back to me. I can't see his expression. He was about to turn around. Then I was pushed into the operating room. My injury is quite severe. I have a big gash on my forehead. The doctor stitched it up with 5 stitches. I have quite a few bruises on my body. There are many stitches on my leg. The doctor specifically told me not to get up and move around. When the nurse wheeled me out, I realized Lucas was still waiting at the door. He hurried over to the nurse. He anxiously asked all sorts of questions. He was concerned about how serious my injury was, whether I needed to be hospitalized, and if there were any dietary restrictions. The doctor told me I didn't need to be hospitalized, but I need to get in Roman 4. I also have to take my medication on time and change the dressings. The nurse pushed the wheelchair over. He took the wheelchair. They pushed me to the Roman 4 room. The whole process. I didn't say a word when I started the Roman 4. The truck driver was also brought to the hospital by the police. He kept apologizing to me, while assuring that he would cover my medical expenses. After Lucas communicated with the police, he finally realized the seriousness of the accident. When he received the photos sent by the insurance company, he saw how the car was almost crushed. A look of concern finally appeared on his face. He couldn't help but say, "Can this still be called a minor accident?" I calmly looked at him and said softly, "This is a hospital. Please keep your voice down. There are patients around who are receiving IVs." The arrival of the police and the driver had already caused some commotion. Now, with Lucas shouting like that, it drew everyone's attention even more. He looked around at the patients with an apologetic expression. Then he squatted behind me. He softly comforted me. "Don't worry, I'm here for you." I found it a bit funny. First, I glanced at him. Then I looked over at Sophia, who was holding the Roman 4 drip. Finally, I nodded towards Lucas. "Someone is waiting for you." Lucas was just about to speak. Sophia called out to him. He stood up. His eyes were hesitant. He looked back and forth between me and Sophia. He said, "Isabella, Sophia's Roman 4 is almost done. I'll stay with her for a while and then come back to find you." But in the end, Lucas saw how pale and weak Sophia looked. He still left me and ran over. I had long stopped expecting him to come back and keep me company. Every time he was called away by Sophia, there was no news after that. I looked up and watched the medicine drip down drop by drop. Alone, I quietly finished 2 bottles of medicine. Then he calmly had the nurse remove the needle. He pushed the wheelchair himself to complete the remaining procedures. When I was sitting in the wheelchair waiting for the ride-hailing car, I finally calmed down and reconsidered my relationship with Lucas. 7 years ago, he confessed his feelings to me, and I had always had a crush on him. So naturally, I joyfully accepted him. But he never mentioned marriage. When I occasionally brought it up, he would always say it was too soon, too early, too busy, and he wasn't ready. He said to talk about it later. I understood him and empathized with him, but stepping out of our relationship to look at this issue, I realized the fundamental reason Lucas didn't mention marriage was that he had never forgotten his first love. I had always thought, after accompanying him for 7 years, I should have at least entered his heart. After Sophia returned, I realized I had completely misunderstood in the end. Lucas didn't come, and the ride-hailing car didn't come either. My good sister came to pick me up. She is an athlete. She easily picked me up from the wheelchair and put me in the car. Then she quickly folded the wheelchair and stuffed it into the trunk. She thought Lucas was on a business trip. She was worried that I wouldn't take care of myself at home, so she brought me to her house. She looked at my injuries. With a pained expression, she said, "That must hurt a lot." She even ordered a lot of takeout specially. She said she wanted to take good care of me. "When you recover, we'll go to the temple to pray, to drive away bad luck." She thinks I really have bad luck, having an accident on my birthday. I smiled and agreed. I hadn't finished speaking. Suddenly, the phone rang. It was Lucas calling. "Isabella, are you still in the hospital?" A delicious smell wafted from the kitchen. Only then did I realize I had been hungry for a long time. My tone was a bit impatient. Is there anything else? I'm just concerned about you. I'm your boyfriend. Can't I ask where you are? I'm watching my friend busying herself in the kitchen. She said coldly. So you are my boyfriend, huh? I thought you were Sophia's boyfriend. Lucas seemed taken aback by my words, until my friend brought the dishes out. Only then did he speak again. You don't know what happened. Sophia has a high fever, and she also has acute gastroenteritis. She has no relatives or friends here. Only I can take care of her. We've known each other for so long. I can't just ignore her. Can I? It's the same old story. I've developed calluses in my ears over these 2 years. Sophia returned to her country 2 years ago, the day after she came back. She used the excuse of adjusting to the environment to call Lucas away. In these 2 years, she hasn't made a single friend. My tone carries a hint of sarcasm. She is different from you. Her personality is a bit more introverted. Lucas unconsciously defended Sophia, but I had already lost interest in listening. All right, then you should care about her more. I interrupted him. He hung up after finishing his sentence. Emily came out with the dishes. She heard my conversation with Lucas. She asked me what happened today. After I explained, she scolded Lucas on my behalf. He will definitely come looking for you later. Should I tell him you're not here? Emily was serving me soup while asking me, do you want to stay tonight? I actually don't want to go home, but I'm afraid of bothering Emily. So I shook my head and said, I should go back. You have to work tomorrow, after all. Emily bit her chopsticks, calculating how many vacation days she had left. I shook my head and smiled at her. Didn't you say you were saving your vacation days to travel with your boyfriend? If it's to take care of me, will he be upset? She confidently patted her chest and said, what's the big deal? But I've already made up my mind. I don't want to cause her too much trouble. After dinner, I organized my things. Emily was washing the dishes in the kitchen. I sat patiently waiting in the living room, but Lucas didn't come to pick me up. I could roughly guess where he was. Sure enough, my phone rang quickly. Sophia sent a WeChat message saying, Isabella, I'm sorry. I'm feeling really unwell. I had to let Lucas take me to the hospital. Did you get into an accident today? I saw that you were covered in blood. You really scared me. How are you feeling now? Are you feeling any better? You want me to ask Lucas to bring you some soup? See, she came to show off to me again. Every time Sophia calls Lucas away from me, she sends me these bragging WeChat messages. I'm sitting in a wheelchair, with one hand holding my bag, and the other hand slowly typing. Is he with you now? Yeah, I have acute gastroenteritis. I can't eat too much, so Lucas is cooking for me. Do you want to join us for a meal? Then, she sent a video of Lucas busy in the kitchen. I'm used to this already. I didn't reply to her. I just sent the screenshot directly to Lucas. After a while, probably the dishes were ready. Lucas finally replied to me. Sophia has been abroad for a long time. Her way of speaking has changed. Don't take it to heart. I really think you two are a good match. Don't say that. We are the couple. She is just my childhood friend now. He immediately sent another message. It seems he wants to change the subject. What do you want to eat tomorrow? I'll help you. I'm staring at the phone screen. I didn't respond to him, just sitting alone in the wheelchair. My eyes are red. I've been with him for 7 years. Lucas has never cooked for me once, not even boiling noodles. I've loved cooking since I was young. My skills are decent. Since we moved in together, I've been the one cooking at home. They say it's because my cooking is good, so the capable take on more work. But who knows? Lucas turns out to be such a good cook. Emily gently patted my back. She pretended not to notice anything. She urged me to wash up. After I finished tidying up, she helped me change to new bedding. She also reminded me to rest well. I'm lying on the soft and comfortable bed. I just relaxed. Lucas's call came in. I didn't answer the phone. I just turned it off. The next day, I was awakened by the aroma from the kitchen. Emily considered my health condition. She specially made a lot of meals suitable for patients. I slowly sat in the wheelchair. I pushed it out of the room. I heard Emily busy in the kitchen while quietly talking on the phone with her boss. I should have left yesterday. As a result, I delayed her. It caused her to miss work today. She even specially took half a day off. Once she hung up the phone, I pushed the wheelchair over. I said to her, "You should go to work. I'll head back soon." Emily frowned, clearly disapproving of my actions. She looked concerned at the bandage on my head, and then looked at my immobilized leg. She said with worry, "You're at home alone. What if something happens?" After finishing breakfast, I insisted on leaving. I didn't want to trouble her anymore, so I had to call Lucas to have him pick me up and take me home. I made several calls. Eventually, it was Sophia who answered. Sorry about that, Isabella. Lucas stayed up all night taking care of me. He just fell asleep. You need to talk to him. Should I wake him up now? The room is quite quiet. I didn't put it on speaker, but Emily still heard what Sophia said. She has a quick temper. It's easy for her to get angry just when she was about to yell. I stopped her in time. I remained calm. Sophia, your method is just like this. Otherwise, why has it been 2 years? Lucas still hasn't broken up with me. To come back to your side. There was a moment of silence on the other end, but he still spoke in a sweet voice, feigning ignorance as he said, because we are just childhood friends who grew up together. He treats me like family. Don't misunderstand our relationship. I feel very uncomfortable. I don't want to deal with her anymore. I just hung up the phone. In the end, it was Emily who took me home. We returned to the home where Lucas and I lived together. I barely managed to get through the day alone. Lucas didn't come back until noon the next day. At that time, I was handing over my work at the company because I had taken sick leave. Some projects I was responsible for needed to be handed over to others in advance. Lucas looked a bit pale. It seemed as if he was the one who was sick. He saw me sitting alone in a wheelchair, busy. He quickly ran over to me and said, Isabella, I'm back. I submitted the last document. Turn off the computer. I leisurely watched him. Finally, I asked with a smile, didn't you say you would cook for me? Lucas's expression was calm. He pushed me into the living room. He turned on the TV, whispering softly in my ear, I'm going to buy groceries now. I asked in surprise, so you can cook? You often help Sophia with things? Lucas, who was about to go out, suddenly panicked. He hurried over and squatted in front of me, gently holding my hand. He started to explain. Sophia's parents asked me to take care of her more. They said she has not been in good health since childhood. So I nodded, understanding. After all, my parents didn't ask you to take care of me. After all, he hasn't met my parents yet. Isabella, there was a hint of grievance in his tone. I took annual leave to stay home with you. Is that okay? Let's not mention those things. I will always be with you. I will go back to work once you are better. I turned off the TV. I turned to look at him. Lucas, don't you have anything to do, Isabella? For you, I can put work aside for a while, he hurried to assure me. I shook my head and said, but I'm really busy. If you truly have nothing to do, then go on a business trip. I specifically emphasized the words business trip, because he uses that as an excuse to walk away from me, to accompany Sophia. I stopped talking, because I knew, every time I finished saying it with sarcasm, Lucas would be very unhappy. He always complains that I don't understand his relationship with Sophia, and says I get jealous for no reason, but he never considers that he hasn't given me enough security. Looking at his sullen face, I actually felt a bit happy. He is unhappy, and that makes me happy. Lucas and I have started another Cold War. He sulked all afternoon, but he still made me a lavish dinner in the evening. He had a stern face urging me to eat. I didn't refuse either, but when we got to the dining table, by the time Lucas was almost finished eating, I still hadn't touched my chopsticks. He looked like he could no longer bear it. I saw him slam his chopsticks down on the table. He said angrily, didn't you ask me to cook for you? Why aren't you eating? I turned my cup of water around in my hand. I found that the warm water inside was already finished. I looked up and stared directly at him. These dishes are all things Sophia loves to eat, right? I usually eat quite lightly. I never eat spicy food. After the surgery, the doctor specifically advised me to avoid eating spicy foods during this time, but Sophia's preferences are completely different from mine. She particularly enjoys spicy food, and the spicier, the better. She likes chili to the point where you can barely see the vegetables. So, these dishes in front of us, whose favorite are they? After all, Lucas and I have been together for 7 years. He should know very well that I don't eat spicy food. He remained silent. I nodded and said, then I won't eat it. Lucas finally couldn't hold back. What is it about me? That you are dissatisfied with Sophia? Can you just say it directly? Don't beat around the bush. Okay, the dish is what you want to eat. I've already prepared it. Is there anything else you're not satisfied with? I placed the empty cup on the table. I sighed. I usually don't eat spicy food. His face turned a bit pale. I continued. The doctor also advised me not to eat spicy things. Can you cook non-spicy dishes? He finally realized what he had done, but his long-standing attitude towards me made him unwilling to apologize. I no longer want to argue with him. Watching him remain silent, I continued. I also don't want you to get too close to Sophia. Maybe I still have a bit of hope for him. Then can you keep your distance from Sophia?" As soon as Lucas heard this, his expression changed again. "It feels like I'm the one being unreasonable." His expression was complicated. He said seriously, "How many times do I have to say it for you to understand? Right now, I only see her as a sister. She is my family. We grew up together. I can't just ignore her." I had no expression on my face, but I felt like I was about to cry. I pushed the wheelchair backward, slowly backing up to the bedroom door. Then I looked at him and said, "Lucas, let me ask you one last question. Between Sophia and me, who would you choose?" He stood up, slapping the table. He questioned me. "Do you really have to be this unreasonable?" I nodded. I understood his decision. I retreated into the bedroom. Before closing the door, I said to him, "Okay, let's break up. That's it." I closed the door. I looked around the bedroom filled with life. I was getting ready to pack my few belongings. Lucas outside seemed to finally understand what I just said. He hurried over to knock on the door. The knocking was particularly loud, louder than any argument we've ever had. "Isabella, what do you mean by that? Are you breaking up with me? Open the door. Let's talk this through. What are you really thinking?" Hearing his nearly uncontrollable voice, I felt like our roles had suddenly reversed. I really can't stand my boyfriend being around other women all the time. Every time I bring it up, he blames me instead. He says I'm being unreasonable and making a fuss, that I don't understand how to maintain his friendships. Back then, I was just like he is now. Every time we argued about Sophia, Lucas would hide in the study. I'm just like him now, standing outside, knocking hard on the door, continuously pressing for answers. There were no mirrors back then, but I imagine my face must have looked terrible. Now our roles have reversed. The calm person from before now finally feels vindicated. The sounds from outside the door continue. I find him quite interesting. He knocked on the door for a long time. I didn't acknowledge him at all. After a while, Lucas sent a WeChat message. "Isabella, you're not calm enough right now. I'll give you some time to cool off. Don't casually say things like breaking up. If you say it too much, it might really happen." I didn't reply to him. I just found this person too repulsive. He accepted my careful attention with a clear conscience. Yet, he was completely infatuated with the freshness Sophia brought him. Where in the world is there such a good deal? It's all taken by him alone. I want to leave, but 7 years of effort is just too much to leave so easily. I'm feeling a bit resentful. I slowly push the wheelchair to the bedside. It has only been a day, although sitting in a wheelchair is quite inconvenient, but I can already take care of myself. I crawled into bed. I wrapped myself up tightly. I stared at the ceiling. My mind was in a haze. The next day, I got up early. The wound was itchy. I didn't sleep well all night. When I came out of the bedroom in the wheelchair, Lucas happened to open the door and come in. He was holding the small steamed buns and soy milk he bought at the corner. He looked at me. He didn't say anything. He just placed the food on the dining table. Then he pushed me to wash up. I originally thought he went to see Sophia again last night, but looking at it this way, it seems he didn't go. After washing up, he pushed me to the dining table. He placed breakfast in front of me. We acted as if nothing had happened, sitting at the dining table having breakfast. I looked at the small steamed buns in front of me. I hesitated to pick up my chopsticks. Lucas looked at me with a sarcastic expression. "Go ahead. These are your favorite small steamed buns, but not what Sophia likes." He was clearly not happy about what I said yesterday. I touched my empty stomach. That's when I realized I hadn't eaten anything all night. I took a bite of the steaming bun and took a sip of the warm, unsweetened soy milk. Suddenly, the food Lucas brought back didn't seem so delicious anymore. So what was I really looking forward to earlier? At the dining table, Lucas kept trying to find topics to lighten the mood, but I just wanted to focus on eating. I didn't respond to him. After finishing, I picked up my laptop, slowly maneuvering my wheelchair towards the door. Lucas, who was cleaning up the trash, saw me. He hurried over to ask me, "Where are you going to the company? You're hurt like this, and you still want to go." He is both surprised and confused. After handing over the work, I pushed the wheelchair out directly. I pressed the elevator button. He is worried about me. "Hurry up and follow me while talking. I'll take you there." I didn't refuse. If he didn't give me a ride, I would have to take a taxi. His ride saved me the hassle of taking a taxi. In the car, he kept looking at me while driving. He seemed very anxious. He wanted to talk to me, but I kept turning my head to look out the window. I ignored him. I recalled the work arrangement my boss discussed with me yesterday. After I hand over the current project to other colleagues, The boss mentioned a project that needs to be dispatched to a neighboring city. Originally, I was planned to go, but because of my current injuries, they decided to reconsider the candidates. I inquired about the specific dates. Then I asked the leader to give this opportunity to me. I said that I would definitely recover well next month. Today is the day to discuss this matter with the leader. Just when I was lost in thought, I heard Lucas's slightly bitter voice. Isabella, come chat with me. Don't ignore me. I really have nothing to talk about with him. When we were together before, it was always me who initiated the conversation. Now it seems there's nothing to share with him either. I remember when we first got together. He told me about his habits. He wasn't good at dealing with people. He didn't talk much either, but he liked to listen to me talk. Seeing me lively made his mood better. Later, when Sophia came back, he said that my awkwardness in trying to find topics was embarrassing. Now he probably understands the feeling of talking to oneself that I had before. Lucas complained. I didn't expect it to be so hard to find a topic. I suddenly feel like he seems to start understanding me. I realized the difficulty of maintaining a conversation on my own before. But what good does it do to say these things? He brings these up now. It's just to fool me. He wants me to revolve around him like before, continuing to revolve around him. Lucas drove me to the company, whispered in my ear, "Go in quickly, I'll wait for you." After he took me to my workstation, he left. I turned to look at him. He was standing at the door, waving at me. Lucas thought I was finally willing to communicate with him. He immediately sent me a WeChat message. "I'll go ahead and book a restaurant. After you finish, we'll go eat together to ward off the recent misfortunes." Okay. I pushed the wheelchair into the manager's office. I told him I was willing to go to the new company in the neighboring city. He looked at my injury, furrowed his brows. I repeatedly assured him that I would be able to stand up next month. He ultimately agreed to my request. After all, the company in the neighboring city needs capable people, and I happen to be a good fit. The leader reminded me, "You need to think it through. It will be very busy at the beginning. It won't be as easy as it is now. You'll have to work overtime every day." I smiled and agreed. It's just overtime. When I first started working, I also often worked overtime. But later, Lucas's work became particularly busy. I think in a relationship, one party always has to make concessions. So I took the initiative to reduce my workload. I gave many promotion opportunities to others. I only did some easy work. I often left gatherings or team-building events early. The excuse was that my boyfriend was waiting for me at home. When I was a child, I always stayed home alone. I would leave the lights on waiting for my parents to come back. Sometimes I couldn't wait for them. I would fall asleep on the sofa. Since then, I have made up my mind in the future when I have my own home. I will never let my partner wait for me alone at home. I am no different now than I was as a child. Waiting for my parents when I was a child, now waiting for Lucas. I'm always the only one at home. I assured my boss that I would work diligently in the future. Then I pushed the wheelchair out of the office. I kept going through the documents in my hands. Suddenly, I felt I was so foolish in the past. For Lucas, I actually gave up the opportunity for a promotion. I returned to my workstation. I started packing my things, waiting for Lucas to pick me up. But in the end, I only received a message from him. "Isabella, I'm sorry. Something came up suddenly on my end. I won't be able to have dinner with you for a while. I called a ride for you. You can get in the car directly when you go downstairs. Rest well when you get home. I have ordered your meals. Eat and go to bed early." I couldn't help but laugh. Deep down, I knew I shouldn't have held any hope for him. I opened Sophia's chat window. I sent her a message. "Is Lucas with you?" A few seconds later, I received her reply. This made me wonder, has Sophia been staring at her phone, just waiting for me to message her? "I'm sorry. Isabella, my stomach really hurts. I couldn't find anyone else to help. That's why I asked Lucas to bring me medicine. Don't be mad. I'll call him to pick you up right away." I posted the screenshot to my friend's circle with a caption, "I'm starting to think you two make a good couple." Lucas immediately called me. I hung up right away. Then I blocked him. I organized the items on my desk. I slowly pushed the wheelchair to the parking lot. At that moment, Lucas's car drove over after he got out of the car. He enthusiastically took the box from my hands and put it in the trunk. Then he helped me into the back seat. He folded my wheelchair up after putting it in the trunk. He then got in the car and sat down. At this point, I noticed Sophia was sitting in the passenger seat. She turned to me and said, "Isabella, I'm really sorry. I considered your difficulty with mobility. I thought you would be more comfortable in the back seat, so I took the initiative to sit in the passenger seat. If you feel it's inappropriate, I can switch places with you immediately. Just as Lucas closed the car door, Sophia began her performance. She said, "No need." I didn't want to engage with her, I just responded coldly, but Sophia seemed startled. She shrank back, as if I had just scolded her loudly. She timidly turned to Lucas and said softly, "It seems Isabella is still angry, right? I guess I should give up my seat for her." I originally thought the scene I expected would happen did not appear. Lucas instead clicked his tongue in dissatisfaction. Sophia's expression looked even more wronged, I noticed. When I stopped paying attention to Lucas, Sophia suddenly became clear in my eyes. She is really beautiful. I remember in college, she was always recognized as a beauty by everyone. Lucas relied on their childhood relationship. He pursued her for a long time. Only in the end did he succeed in being with her. Their relationship was widely talked about in school. Later, Sophia's whole family moved abroad. That was when their connection was cut off. A long time passed. Only then did Lucas start pursuing me. I sat in the back. For the first time, I calmly observed them. There were no waves in my heart. They truly are the quintessential campus couple. They are indeed a perfect match. They look very comfortable together. Sophia saw me looking at them in the rearview mirror. She smiled and asked me, "Isabella, what are you thinking about?" "I'll tell you. I think you two are quite suitable for each other." I smiled at her. Lucas suddenly hit the brakes. If it weren't for the no parking rule, he might have stopped. "What are you talking about again?" he said unhappily. "How is that nonsense?" "That's just a fact," I shrugged, not afraid of him at all. Lucas's current demeanor seems quite interesting to me. Usually, I feel particularly tense about their relationship. He doesn't have this attitude. "Isabella, you're still mad at me, aren't you?" "There really is nothing between Lucas and me. We're just childhood friends who grew up together, so we have a better understanding of each other." Sophia turned around, with a look that says, "How could you misunderstand me?" She said, "We were together before. Actually, it was because we mistook familial love for romantic love. Fortunately, we realized it in time." Her tone was very serious. But Lucas's expression darkened. "Don't say any more. Love and indifference. Actually, it can be seen at a glance. I had a fight with Lucas in the end. We broke up. He doesn't care at all. But Sophia doesn't admit there are feelings between them. This makes him feel sad and hurt. Look, feelings are like a cough. They cannot be hidden. Sophia didn't have dinner with us. Lucas took her home first. When leaving, Sophia seemed very reluctant. Lucas also seemed reluctant to look at her. Both turned their faces away. "If you can't bear to part, then take her out to dinner. Just take me home." I kept my head down. Just answer directly. "I didn't." Lucas shook his head. He firmly denied it. I couldn't be bothered to expose him any further. We silently finished our dinner like this. On the way back, he finally spoke. "I'm sorry. I shouldn't have agreed and then backed out. Today is really unusual." Lucas actually took the initiative to apologize to me. "It's okay. I don't mind, but I am completely disappointed in him. I no longer have any expectations. You, not angry." Lucas's complexion seems a bit pale. "I've gotten used to it." "Lucas, since Sophia returned home 2 years ago, haven't you always done that?" The car is very quiet. My voice is also very soft. "When Sophia just came back, there was no place to stay and no familiar friends. Everything was going wrong. I could only ask you for help. I can understand that. But it's been 2 years now. Even for desensitization therapy, there should be some results by now. I've gotten used to you always choosing her over me." I watched his face turn pale in the rearview mirror. "Speak word for word. Are you sure during this time? Have you not developed any feelings for her?" The car stopped in the parking lot downstairs at our home. Lucas gripped the steering wheel tightly. He said softly, "I won't do that again in the future. She really should have her own life." He silently placed the wheelchair properly, then carefully lifted me up. I returned to the bedroom. Once again, I spoke to Lucas. "I'm serious. Let's break up." Lucas stood outside the door. He pressed hard against the door, refusing to let me close it. He stubbornly said, "No, Isabella, I love you. I do not agree to break up." I heard his sudden confession. I couldn't help but laugh out loud. Lucas looked at me with a puzzled expression. I wiped away the tears at the corners of my eyes. I smiled and said, "Lucas, it's been 7 years. This is the second time you've told me you love me." That day, he confessed to me for the first time. "I have already completed the procedures to transfer to the new company in the next city. I'm just waiting to stand up from the wheelchair. I'm ready to set off at any time. I strictly follow the doctor's instructions. I go to bed early and get up early. My diet strictly adheres to the standards of a nutritional meal. The sooner I recover, the sooner I can leave this oppressive home. When Lucas called, I was in the hospital for a checkup. I have many tests to do. After thanking a kind male college student who helped push me for a while, I hung up on Lucas's call directly. He called several times. I didn't answer any of them. Later, he sent me a WeChat message asking me, "Why didn't you answer the phone?" I replied, "I'm in a checkup." I looked at our recent chat history. It feels like we've swapped roles. Now he always takes the initiative to start a conversation, and I have become the one who responds coldly. The examination has finally ended. I held the medication prescribed by the doctor and prepared to leave the hospital. As I reached the door, I saw Lucas standing there. He was concerned about my injury like a caring boyfriend, gently pushing me to walk outside. But these past few days, I have been coming for checkups alone. After I sent the message, he only then remembered that I was still an injured person. "Why didn't you ask me to accompany you?" He looked at me with a reproachful gaze. "I can manage on my own." I responded lightly, "You show up now. Have you thought it through?" I looked up at him. Lucas didn't look well. He silently pushed me to the parking lot. "These past few days, I've thought seriously about it. I indeed did wrong before. I will correct it. Isabella, let's not break up." Okay, he opened the car door. He wanted to carry me to the passenger seat, but I refused. Lucas's expression became even more unpleasant. He was silent for a while. Then he carried me into the passenger seat. "Speak. I will wash the car tomorrow. From now on, this seat is only for you." "No need." I immediately declined, but he ignored me. He continued to focus on driving after returning home. Lucas was as considerate as usual. He ran the water, helped me wipe my body. I asked him about these things. "Did you do the same for Sophia? You mentioned many times before about business trips. Were you also with her?" I looked up at him. I insisted on a clear answer. A warm towel was thrown into the steaming basin. He looked at me with a face full of disappointment. "In your eyes, is that really who I am, isn't it?" I didn't answer. I just kept asking questions. His expression changed constantly. I guess he might have thought about it, but he never truly made up his mind. But none of this matters anymore. I've really been exhausted lately. The wound hurts and itches. It has kept me from sleeping well for several nights. I looked at Lucas. I said to him seriously, "Let's break up. This time I mean it." He wanted to hold me. He wanted to embrace me, but I dodged away. "Lucas, I really have no feelings for you now. Let me go. Is that okay? I'm packing my luggage." Suddenly, there was a heated argument with Lucas. I had never seen him so angry. His level of anger far exceeded any previous times. I was about to close the suitcase. He squatted down in front of me again. He said with a pleading tone, "Don't break up. Okay, we've been through 7 years together. Haven't we? Could you bear to leave me alone?" I shook my head. In the end, I still ended up in the hospital. It seemed Lucas didn't understand the meaning of my rejection. He came to take care of me every day. He brought me food. He accompanied me for checkups. He waited for me while I was on Enrollment 4. The patients in the same ward all praised him as a good boyfriend, but I found his behavior quite amusing. I then said, "Lucas, as long as you promise me that you won't have any more contact with Sophia, I will get back together with you." "Isabella, this is not acceptable. You know our families have a long-standing friendship. The relationship can't be completely severed, but I promise, I won't let her appear in front of you. Look, he's still the same. I'm too lazy to deal with him. I just cover myself with the blanket and sleep. Lucas still takes care of me attentively, but I only feel disgust. His deep feelings now come too late. They are of no value to me anymore. Looking at him, it's as if I see my past self. The more he tries to show that he loves me, the more I want to distance myself from him. I want to leave here, to completely break free from all of this. With the joint efforts of the doctor and me, I can finally stand up, although walking still feels a bit awkward. It feels much easier than before. After completing the discharge procedures, I rushed back to the company to handle the final tasks. My heart has already begun to look forward to the new life that will start in the neighboring city. Recently, Lucas has been particularly busy. I heard it from the workers. The company has taken on a big project. He spends all day with clients. He has no time for anything else. I took the opportunity to go home and pack my bags. To see how to handle the remaining items, I opened the door. To my surprise, Sophia was at home. When she came out, her hair was still wet. It was obvious she had just washed it. Seeing me return, she smiled and asked, "Isabella, you've been discharged from the hospital. My water heater is broken. so I wanted to borrow Lucas's bathroom. You don't mind, do you? It's funny that it's only a 25-minute journey, closer than the guest house downstairs at your place. She specifically came here to borrow the bathroom. I scoffed a little. I ignored her. I walked straight into the bedroom. I saw that the bedding on the bed clearly showed signs of someone else having slept there. I didn't show any emotion either. Sophia deliberately leaned closer. She explained softly, I came too late yesterday. Lucas let me stay overnight here. Hope you don't mind. She watched me quietly pack my luggage. She feigned ignorance and asked, Are you packing your luggage? Is it for a trip? I put down the clothes in my hands. I turned to her and said, I have broken up with Lucas. You can stay here as long as you want. You really want to break up with him. She no longer concealed her feelings. She stared at me with an unfriendly gaze. With your conditions, after leaving him, it should be hard to find someone like him again. I ignored her. After packing my luggage, I walked straight out the door. While waiting for the elevator, Sophia actually chased after me. Lucas and I are really just ordinary friends. If my reason caused your breakup, then I would feel really sorry for you both. Sophia, you find it interesting to interfere in other people's relationships. It's making you so unable to extricate yourself. I looked at her coldly. She said with a smile, Our relationship is perfectly innocent. I responded with a smile as well. Then take a guess. Is there any surveillance in the bedroom? Sophia's expression darkened. She said sternly, Isabella, watch your words. Feel free to use whatever tricks you have against Lucas. Don't try to pull any stunts with me. The elevator has arrived. I stepped inside. I took one last glance at her. You've pushed me to my limits. Think about how much dirt I have on you. She stood outside the elevator, her face full of anger. The elevator doors slowly closed. I finally left. I passed through airport security smoothly. I boarded the plane. Before the plane took off, Lucas sent me a WeChat message. Isabella, nothing happened between Sophia and me. I didn't let her into the bedroom. She barged in by herself. I promise I won't contact her again. Where are you now? I'm coming to get you. It's time to take off. I blocked Lucas. No more messages from him. From now on, I'm moving on, hearing about Lucas again. It's been 6 months. I've been doing well at the branch office. I've successfully been promoted to management. I took a vacation. I went to the place I've always wanted to visit. I blocked Lucas, but I still occasionally hear news about him from friends. I heard he's been asking where I went, but my friends didn't tell him. This time I heard he's having a divorce with Sophia. That's right. We broke up only 2 months ago, and now they're registering their marriage. Sophia is pregnant, so they must have married for the sake of the child. I admit that it made me very uncomfortable. I'm also grateful that I didn't look back at that time. According to the timeline, they got together less than 2 months after my breakup with them. Later, I heard from friends. They are not happy after getting married. The neighbors often complain to the property management about their loud arguments. I heard that every time they argue, it seems to be related to me. Sophia is unwilling to let Lucas mention me, but Lucas seems to associate everything he does with me. Now their interaction patterns are very similar to how Sophia and I were when we first returned to the country. I feel grateful again that I didn't end up with Lucas. Later, Lucas was annoyed by the noise at home. He started hiding at work and not going home. So, Sophia gathered her courage and went directly to the company to find him. She caused quite a scene at the company until I heard Lucas roar. I just can't forget Isabella. What do you want to do? The colleagues nearby were eagerly watching the drama unfold, quietly sharing the latest gossip in the group chat when the boss found out. The boss thinks Lucas lacks ability. He can't even handle family matters, so he removed him from the core member position of the project. Lucas and Sophia had another intense argument. The content of this argument was leaked online. It attracted attention. Soon after, a man claiming to be the biological father of Sophia's child showed up at the door. It turns out, before Sophia and Lucas's relationship stabilized, she had a relationship with this man, and at that time, no safety measures were taken. The reason was that it was thought to affect the experience. The man's purpose in coming was not to ask for money, but rather to hope that Sophia would give up this child. This man has some family assets. He cannot accept letting an illegitimate child of unknown origin take a share of the inheritance. The situation has escalated significantly. They 3 went together to do a paternity test. The results have come out. It confirmed that the child is indeed his. Lucas slapped Sophia in anger after the child was lost. Next comes the divorce issue. Due to the cooling off period regulations for divorce, Lucas still hasn't been able to completely part ways with Sophia. A friend sent the final news. Because Lucas's situation has caused too much of a stir, it has severely affected the company's image. His position has been demoted multiple times. He's almost at the point of being fired. Sophia is still clinging to him. Now his career and relationship are both in ruins. When I was with him, he was a completely different person. After hearing this story, I put down my phone. I have completely let go of the past. I no longer care how Lucas and Sophia are doing, but I do feel a bit emotional and relieved. It's bittersweet to see how two people who once loved each other have come to this point. It's poignant that two people who once loved each other have ended up like this. I'm glad I managed to walk away from that relationship in time. I gaze out the window. The sun is shining brightly. The sky is clear. This seems to foreshadow my future days.